The woman they fired for saving a life. You're fired, Dr. Celeste Monroe. Leave your badge and coat on the table, now. The booming voice of Director Franklin Delroy echoed across the pristine white lobby of Northlake General Hospital, turning heads and freezing movement like a jolt of electricity. Patients stopped mid-conversation. Nurses stood still, some clutching charts. Others just stared. And at the center of it all stood Celeste, 38, a nurse whose spotless decade-long career was now being discarded in front of everyone like yesterday's trash. Security waited behind her, a silent threat. But Celeste stood tall. Her eyes, deep brown and unwavering, didn't blink even as Delroy raged on. Serious violation of protocol. Unauthorized treatment of an unidentified male. Use of emergency medical resources without prior billing approval. What made you think you had the right to make that call? The silence that followed swallowed the room whole. Because he was dying. Celeste said simply. Delroy's lip curled. And you're not a doctor. You're head of nursing. You had no authority. Celeste's reply was even, measured. I didn't need authority to stop a man from bleeding to death on the floor. He slammed his palm on the reception desk. He had no ID, no insurance, no way to pay. Still calm, Celeste slipped off her white coat, folding it neatly before placing it on the table. That didn't matter to me. I wasn't going to let him die. To Delroy, her words were insolence. People like you need to learn their place. There it was. The words weren't new. Celeste had heard them in different tones for 10 years. She had felt them in the denied promotions, the comments passed in hallways, the glass ceilings hiding in the fluorescent lights of boardrooms. Security guard Curtis, who always greeted her with warmth during late shifts, stood awkwardly behind her, eyes fixed on the ground. He couldn't look at her. Not today. You'll regret this, she told Delroy, calm as ever. Someday, you'll understand. I didn't just save a life last night. I saved the wrong life for someone like you. He laughed, an ugly, throaty sound. You saved some street bum. Congratulations. She didn't reply. She walked out. Outside the hospital, something odd caught her eye. The man who usually stood on the corner, an older homeless man everyone recognized but never acknowledged, was gone. In his place stood someone else. A man in a sleek charcoal suit, whispering into a sleek cell phone. Watching the hospital closely, she thought nothing of it at the time. What she didn't know, what no one at Northlake General could have known, was that the man she saved was wearing a watch worth more than some people's houses. Beneath the grime, the blood, and the desperation was not a beggar, but Vincent Kane, billionaire CEO of Kane Medical Holdings. And as Celeste walked away in disgrace, the gears of something massive were already turning. Back home in her modest duplex in the working-class Briarwood neighborhood, Celeste collapsed at her kitchen table. 3 missed calls blinked on her phone. A 4th came in. She answered, her voice drained. Dr. Monroe? Yes. This is Derek Langston. I'm a corporate attorney with Langston and Rhodes. I'm calling on behalf of Mr. Vincent Kane. He's asked to meet with you immediately. Celeste blinked, heart tightening. Is this about a lawsuit? You saved his life, Dr. Monroe. And he wants to talk. He believes your actions deserve much more than a thank you. An hour later, she met Langston at a downtown cafe. He was sharply dressed, his manner precise and respectful. Without preamble, he slid a tablet across the table. On it was a photo, Vincent Kane, cleaned up, polished, powerful. It was the same face she had cleaned mud and blood off the night before. He sometimes hikes alone in remote areas, Langston explained. Clears his head. No security. Last night, he suffered a serious fall, head injury, internal bleeding. He made it to the nearest hospital on foot. Your hospital, where he was refused. Celeste's stomach turned. You're the only reason he's alive. At Northlake General, meanwhile, Delroy was soaking in his moment. He gathered the hospital board and senior staff. Celeste Monroe has been removed. She endangered this institution with her recklessness. Let that be a lesson to everyone. The receptionist, a smug blonde named Elise, posted a celebratory photo online. Rules matter. #justice served. It racked up likes from administrators and senior staff. But the winds were shifting. Curtis, the security guard, quietly messaged Celeste. "There's something you need to see." The security footage he sent wasn't just video. It had audio. Delroy's voice rang out, ugly and unfiltered. "That arrogant black woman's been a thorn in my side for years. I've been waiting for a reason to drop her." Meanwhile, Kane, recovering in a private facility, had mobilized his legal and corporate army. "I want everything," he told his investigators. "Every patient denied, every racist policy, every shady deal." It didn't take long. In 5 years, over 80% of uninsured patients turned away from Northlake were Black or Latino. Several substantial donations had been made from the hospital to the mayor's campaign, who happened to be Delroy's cousin. Celeste, jobless, harassed online, and facing rent bills, still held her head high. But behind the scenes, her quiet stand had sparked a reckoning, a gala thrown in Delroy's honor. An event full of champagne and self-congratulation. The reckoning arrived. The ballroom glowed with gold and glass. Delroy stood at the mic. "We are a model of profitable, quality healthcare," he boasted. The giant screen behind him switched. Without warning, first, a grainy clip of Delroy's face, red with rage. "That arrogant black woman needs to learn her place." Gasps. Silence. The room froze. Then came the charts. Spreadsheets showing disparities in treatment. Audio of racist comments. Financial trails leading to personal accounts. Then a voice. "My name is Vincent Kane. On July 8th, I was denied treatment at Northlake General. I would be dead if not for Celeste Monroe." Delroy bolted, but agents from the Department of Justice were waiting. Special Investigator Isaac Holloway, flanked by officers, stepped forward. "Thomas Delroy," he said, voice cold. "You are under arrest for institutional discrimination, embezzlement, and violation of federal healthcare statutes." Delroy's hands were cuffed before he could finish sputtering. Through the double doors, Celeste entered. Dressed in a tailored navy blue suit, she walked calmly alongside Kane and Langston. Delroy seethed. "You set me up." Celeste didn't raise her voice. "No, you set yourself up. I just turned on the lights." Kane approached the microphone. "My company has purchased Northlake General," he announced. "Effective immediately, it will become the Monroe Center for Health Equity, a place where compassion guides care, not cost." Elise, the receptionist, tried to slink away. Curtis stepped into her path. "FBI's asking for you, Elise." News outlets exploded. By morning, #JusticeForCeleste trended globally. The next day, headlines read, "Healthcare heroine exposes corrupt hospital, Celeste Monroe, the nurse who turned a scandal into a movement." And the following month, amid national uproar, federal legislation began taking shape. 6 months later, the hospital had been reborn. A new sign gleamed out front: Celeste Monroe Health Center. Universal care for all inside. Maria Espinoza, a former nurse fired for being too ethnic, now worked at reception, treating every patient with dignity. Curtis ran security. Dr. Emil Harper, once afraid to speak out, had become chief of medicine. And Celeste? She now served as medical director. Her office was spacious, her title prestigious, but none of that mattered. What mattered was the line of patients outside, now welcomed without fear. At a ceremony marking the hospital's relaunch, Kane took the podium. "This woman," he said, voice ringing, "saved more than my life. She saved my conscience." Celeste spoke next. Calm, graceful, proud. "I thought being fired was the end. But it was the beginning. Sometimes justice doesn't knock. Sometimes it breaks the door down." The applause that followed could be heard across the city. In a federal prison cell 3 hours north, Thomas Delroy scrubbed a toilet. His ex-wife had left him. His children had dropped his name. His cousin, the mayor, had resigned in disgrace. The empire he built on fear and discrimination was gone. Curtis sent him a photo in the mail. Celeste smiling beneath the new hospital sign. The caption, "Respect is earned." You chose power. She chose purpose. Months later, Kane announced a $100 million expansion of the Monroe model to 5 more cities. Scholarships were launched for aspiring Black and Latino medical students. Young people across the country spoke Celeste's name as a symbol of quiet strength. Because in the end, she didn't just save one man's life. She changed the lives of millions, and all because, one night, she said, "To hell with the rules."